Hello again, YouTube, and I'm back with a video. I'd say it's more of a public service announcement or a public service type video. What happened was I recently had my AC guy here at my home because my AC all of a sudden stopped working. And what happened was about 2 days ago, there was, I guess, a storm in the area. Right where I was at, there was no rain or anything like that, and it was the middle of the day. I mean, everything was going well, and all of a sudden, my lights flickered a little bit in my home, and I didn't think much of it. I heard something, but I didn't think much of it. And what happened was, that same day or the day after, my AC was, just stopped working. I went out and I looked at the compressor on the outside, and the piping was frozen. And I'm like, okay, I call up the guys to say I need you to come out and take a look at it, and so I just turned it off, let it sit for about a day, and when it unthawed, I turned on the compressor again, and the compressor started fine. It's just that my air handler, my inside air handler, was not working. And the guy shows up and he says, "Hey, there was essentially it fried the board. Something, there was a lightning strike and it fried the board." And I'm like, "Well, how is that possible? I mean, I've got like whole house surge protectors and stuff." And he was like, "Well, do you have any other circuits or any other electronics that are like, messed up?" And I was like, "No." And then I went and he said, "Well, have you checked the surge protector?" And I was like, "No." "Well, let me check." So I went over here, and recently I had been doing some work inside of the panel, and this breaker, which is my surge protector, was turned off. I had it turned off. I had turned off all of these breakers because, again, I was doing some work, and I forgot to turn the lousy thing back on. And see, this side of the house got hit, and this side of the house was protected. All of my 120 volt circuits were protected. Was careless? Yes. Stupid? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, hey, it really ticks me off that I forgot to turn the lousy thing on, and so turn it back on. And so that's why. And the reason I say I want to put this out there is the importance of whole house surge protection, for one thing. I mean, as you can see, both of these are all my 120s. All of my 120s, to include my grid tie inverters, everything was fine. I mean, the lightning strike took out my AC unit, my HVAC, central air. And there was nothing else that was running really, but this thing right here, it took that out. So for you folks that, maybe, still on the fence about getting some type of lightning protection, well, use this video as a, as a reason for, getting lightning protection. But because, hey, I mean, all I had to do was flip the lousy breaker and keep it on. And again, I got careless and I forgot to turn the thing back on. And my HVAC is under warranty, but I can't, he didn't have the replacement circuit board, so I still got about 2 or 3 days worth of hot weather and fans. But anyway, YouTube, hey, it's all good. It's all good. Lesson learned. I learned something, and my mistake is, maybe that's somebody else's benefit. So that's the reason I share it with you, to kind of let you know, hey, if you don't have any whole house surge protection, I'm glad my AC unit was under warranty, else it would be coming out of my pocket. But it is a major inconvenience just because I forgot to turn on one lousy breaker. But anyway, it's turned on now, and it will stay on. So take care, YouTube.
Hello again, YouTube. For those folks that are interested in determining just how they can tell whether or not their house is experiencing power surges, one way is to use the TED, or the energy detective, like you see here. And I'll give you an example. With this TED unit, or this software, I can visually look at what my home is producing as far as the energy that it's utilizing from the grid and the power that I'm producing from solar. Today is a pretty cloudy day, and you can see here that for my solar output, I peaked out at 2.9 kilowatts. That's almost 3 kilowatts. And let's see, as far as utility, right now I'm consuming 580 watts from the utility. And so as my solar output increases, my energy usage in my house decreases. Like, for instance, it's at 2.3 kilowatts now, and now I'm pushing 948 or not, just over 900 watts back to the grid. Now, the point that I want to show you is the history. This thing here keeps a history of what happened as far as energy in my home, energy used and energy consumed. And you can see here I go back to the utility here. And for the utility, it spiked on June 14th at 70,000 watts. Okay, 70.170 kilowatts is 70,000 watts. All right, I don't use 70,000 watts. As far as my solar, it peaked out at 67,000 watts, or 368 kilowatts. My solar doesn't produce 67,000 watts. So where did that energy come from? That was a lightning strike or some type of power surge that came from on the utility side, of things. And so this is how you can tell whether you're experiencing lightning strikes or some type of power surges in your home. This using a utility similar to this. So this tells me on June 14th I experienced something that took out my air conditioning unit, and this was it. Again, if you look on the AC side, on the utility side, 70,000. All right, 70,000 watts. All right, and it was just for a split second. I mean, just maybe a millisecond, but it was enough to take out my board in my air handler unit. And so, again, I just want to emphasize to you folks out there that hey, a little bit of lightning protection goes a long way. And it was my mistake that I forgot to turn my circuit breaker for my lightning protection back on. So again, my misfortune is your gain. So I mean, I just say that it's a good idea to kind of take a look at some form of lightning protection for your home. When that lightning strike hit, there was no rain. I didn't hear any thunder. I mean, in my area, it was fine. Everything was great. It was sunny. It was good to go. But in another area, there was a storm, and I got hit. Okay, YouTube, take care.